It was supposed to be the happiest week of their lives. Just one day ago, Park Eun-bin and Rowoon stood beneath an archway of white orchids and soft candlelight. Their hands intertwined, eyes glistening as they promised a lifetime together. The air was thick with the scent of roses and the sweet echo of music. The kind of wedding that fans had imagined for years. Only now it wasn't a fantasy, it was real. Every photograph captured a perfect moment. Every smile felt like something from a movie. But 24 hours later, the fairy tale glow was dimmed by an announcement no one saw coming. One that would bring even the most devoted fans to tears. The following afternoon, the couple appeared again, but this time, not in wedding attire. Rowoon's tailored suit was still sharp but muted in color. His usually confident shoulders slightly hunched. Eun-bin wore a cream-colored cardigan over a simple dress. Her hair pulled back loosely. Quiet softness replacing the dazzling radiance she had displayed the day before. They stood side by side at a small press room in Seoul, where the walls were lined with flowers from well-wishers, some still fresh from the wedding. The air carried that same floral scent, but now it mixed with an unmistakable heaviness, as if everyone present could sense the weight of what was about to be said. Rowoon was the first to speak. His voice was steady at first, but anyone listening closely could hear the strain beneath it. "We wanted to share something with everyone who has loved and supported us," he began, glancing at Eun-bin briefly before continuing. "After much thought, we have decided to temporarily step away from our professional activities." The murmur of surprise in the room was immediate, soft but unmistakable. "This decision," he added, "comes from a place of love and responsibility. I want to be by Eun-bin's side right now, to take care of her. That is my priority." Eun-bin didn't speak right away. She kept her eyes lowered, her fingers tightly entwined with his. Finally did raise her gaze to meet the cameras. Her eyes shimmered, not with the joy they had seen on her wedding day, but with something far more fragile. "Carrying a lot," she admitted softly. "More than I realized. I need to take time to breathe, rest, and I'm grateful to have a husband who understands that." Her voice broke on the last few words. Rowoon's hand tightened around hers. The room seemed to still completely. Reporters who had prepared light-hearted questions about honeymoon plans and newlywed life now sat frozen, pens hovering above notepads. Sure how to bridge the gap between yesterday's celebration and today's confession. It was the kind of shift that left people unsettled, how quickly joy could be shadowed by something heavier, more human. Just a day earlier, the world had watched them exchange vows under a sky painted in warm twilight hues. The wedding was a spectacle of elegance. Eun-bin's gown was an off-shoulder masterpiece of lace and silk, delicate embroidery catching the light with each step. Eun, tall and striking, had chosen a classic black suit with a subtle sheen. Single white rose pinned to his lapel. Guests included some of Korea's most beloved actors and singers, all dressed in muted pastels. To the dreamlike atmosphere. Cameras captured stolen glances between the couple, the way Rowoon brushed a stray hair from her face during the vows, the gentle smile Eun-bin gave him when the officiant declared them husband and wife. It was a day that seemed untouched by anything but love. Close to Eun-bin knew there had been signs of strain in recent months. She had just completed a grueling filming schedule for a high-profile drama, a project that demanded long hours, emotional depth, constant public attention. Between shoots, his juggling brand endorsements, magazine photo shoots, and fan meetings. Even in moments of supposed rest, she was expected to maintain the image of perfection, a standard that the public rarely acknowledged as exhausting. Her agency had shielded her as best they could. But in the age of social media, the pressure seeped through every crack. Rowoon had seen it all. In there when she came home from a late-night shoot. Makeup still on but her spirit visibly drained. Listened as she talked about the unending cycle of expectations. About how every smile in public sometimes felt like another mask she had to wear. In those private moments, she wasn't a flawless actress adored by millions, she was simply a woman stretched to her limits. And so, even before they exchanged vows, he had made himself a silent promise. He wouldn't just be her partner in the spotlight, he would be her shield when the lights became too bright. The decision to step back wasn't made overnight. Had been discussed in whispers late at night. In the quiet space between exhaustion and sleep. Rowoon had suggested it more than once, but Eun-bin, professional, had resisted. "I can't just disappear," she had told him. "Are counting on me." It wasn't until after the wedding, in the stillness of their first morning as husband and wife, she finally admitted she couldn't keep pushing herself. The wedding joy had given her a moment of clarity. Love wasn't just about sharing happy days, it was about having the courage to rest, to heal, and to be vulnerable. Fans reacted with a tidal wave of emotion. Social media flooded with messages of support. Health comes first, always. We'll wait as long as it takes. Protect her at all costs. Some fans shared their own stories of burnout, being deeply to Rowoon Bin's words about needing to breathe. Others posted video compilations of the couple's sweetest moments, setting them to soft, emotional music that made even strangers feel the weight of the announcement. Hashtags like Protect Rowoon Bin and We Support Rowoon trended within hours, uniting fans across the globe in a collective embrace. Inside the industry, colleagues and directors praised the decision, calling it an act of bravery in a culture that often glorifies relentless work. They're showing that it's okay to choose well-being over the spotlight. One senior actor commented. Others noted that such transparency could inspire more open conversations about mental health and burnout among celebrities. Of course, not everyone took the news without disappointment. Several of Rowoon Bin's upcoming projects would be delayed, and Rowoon had been in talks for an international drama that would now be put on hold indefinitely. But even those who lamented the postponements couldn't deny the sincerity in Rowoon's eyes when he said, "I married her to protect her, not to watch her suffer." As the press conference ended, Rowoon gently guided Rowoon Bin out of the room, his hand on the small of her back. Cameras followed them until the elevator doors closed, sealing them off from the crowd. Final glimpse, Rowoon Bin leaned into him, her head resting against his shoulder, as if surrendering to the safety she had long been too proud to accept. What lies ahead for the couple remains uncertain. Whispers they might travel abroad, perhaps to a quiet coastal town where the sound of waves will replace the constant hum of cameras. Friends say they plan to spend time with family, away from the city's glare. Whatever they choose, thing is certain, they will face it together. Oh, just one day after their dream wedding, Rowoon Bin and Rowoon have given the world a different kind of love story, one not defined by grand gestures or glamorous appearances, but by the quiet strength of putting each other first. It is a story that reminds us that behind the spotlight, behind the perfection we see, there are two people holding on to each other in the simplest, most profound way. When Rowoon was asked by a reporter as he was leaving if he had any message for fans, he turned, smiled faintly, and said, "When she's ready, we'll come back together, stronger than ever." Fans lingered long after he was gone, a promise that in time, love would lead them back to the stage, back to the screen. The people who had been with them through both the bright days and the storms. Until then, fans wait, not out of impatience, but out of love. Their hearts bound to the couple not just for their talent, but for their humanity. Because sometimes, the bravest thing a star can do is step away from the light, and trust that it will still be there when they return.